have money, so you broke into someone's car to try and get rob them, and then you are in the police net. And all of a sudden now there has to be a lawyer, you have to go to court. That's why you see a lot of people that use drugs, they tend to have legal issues. Oh, they used because they were doing codeine someday and they did something terrible, they attacked somebody and then the police arrested them. Or they were trying to buy drugs in the wrong place and they didn't know that this was a police officer, and next thing they're in jail. So legal problems come with that, but it's something that people never talk about. It's something that gets swept under the rug. Oh, they make drug use so glamorous and they glorify it in your media, but they don't talk about these real issues now, that the consequences of this drug use, the hard consequences of this drug use, they don't talk about it. So apart from that, again, the drugs also come with diseases, whether it's HIV, whether it's hepatitis, it comes with diseases because people tend to share needles or share paraphernalia, and then from share one of these things, they get some infection. So it comes with disease, and then when diseases come, you have to use your hard-earned money to go and cure those diseases. So it costs you a lot of money, And again, another thing again is getting drugs is not cheap. It's not cheap. You may look at marijuana now and say, oh, I'm spending only 1,000 a day on marijuana. But in 30 days, that's 30,000 naira. 60 days, that's 60,000 naira. And then it goes on and on. In 4 months, you spend 120,000 naira. On drugs. Money that can be used for something else. And that's why you see sometimes people that do drugs tend to run out of money. That's why they always need, oh, please come and give me money, or give me money. Because getting drugs is expensive. I'm talking about weed. Talk about getting cocaine. Cocaine is very expensive. So what I'm getting at in this is that there are some real life consequences that comes with drug use that doesn't get talked about a lot. And that is what this seminar is about. It's about bringing this thing to light, and with the hope that people who are doing drugs will see, because sometimes when you're doing drugs, you don't get to see that the hole you're digging yourself into. So the goal is that people see these things and then stop, because this is a major issue in Nigeria, and if we are not careful, many lives are going to be lost, many futures are going to be derailed, many family lives are going to be disrupted, simply because many people are going to end up in jail simply because of drugs. So while you may look at the drug use as glamorous, it's not. When it comes to real life, there are real life implications of drug use. So the last part I'm going to talk about, meeting the needs of drug users, And what I think is the reality in Nigeria is we don't have the infrastructure to meet the needs of people who are seeking help from drug use or drug abuse. We don't have the facility. As much as 40% of drug users, don't get the help they need to prevent them from using drugs. So now imagine you are in this country, you are addicted to drugs, and you have to now realize that now that you're addicted to drugs, we don't have systems in place that can help you, remove yourself from this drug addiction you got yourself into. Because realistically, 40% of Nigerians who are addicted to drugs cannot get help. Some of them can be financial, because it costs a lot for your family to take you to, whether it's Yaba Psychiatric Hospital or some hospital in Ogun State, or Aro in Ogun State, for them to help deal with your substance abuse issues. It costs a lot of money. And that's the reason why many people can't get help, because it's expensive. And so because of that, many people are stuck. You thought it was all a vibe, but now this vibe is ruining your life. You see? So and it's unfortunate that we have a system whereby doctors, nurses, psychologists, psychiatrists are leaving the country, looking for for a better future, a better system whereby their hard work they can be compensated adequately for their hard work. So what happens to Nigerians who are addicted to drugs? They did a survey, and they said, I remember, I think it was 200 or so psychologists or psychiatrists in Nigeria, 200 to 300. And then we'll have we have 14 million people addicted to drugs, and we'll have like 300 psychiatrists. How is that supposed to happen? How? The reality is that we don't have systems that can help people who are addicted to drugs. So in this juncture, it's better that we avoid going to this line of drug use, because when we get there, there are no systems in place to help. Yes, we have like counselors, psychologists that can help, but how many people, what I mean by there's no system in place is that how many people can really get help? How many? Not a lot. So what I'm suggesting is that our government needs to have programs, to help people who are addicted to drugs to get off the horse. Systems whereby they can go in, that is cost effective, go in the drug rehabilitation center, that is affordable, that the common person can go in there, maybe spend 2 or 3 weeks there, and go through the rehabilitation process and come out clean, and then move on to do something better with their life. Because the reality is that 40 million people doing drugs is 40 million souls that can be saved. And when you have a country where 40 million people are on drugs, then your future becomes in jeopardy. Because this drug use now is a rising menace that needs to be curbed. If not, we may pay dearly for it in this country. That is my appeal. That's my appeal. We need to understand that drug use is not funny, is not a vibe, is not entertaining, is not something that is beautiful that women come out and sexy women, big booty women come out when we are smoking weed. It's nothing like that. You can ruin your life. That's what I'm trying to achieve with this. So we don't have a lot of systems, but we have psychologists online who can help. You can go to Yaba Psychiatric Hospital, you can go to Arrow, you can search for places or programs that can help, that are cost effective. But our government needs to do better when it comes to rehabilitation centers. There should be a lot of it, so we can help reduce the number of people on drugs. And again, there should be drug awareness programs, and that's why I kind of thank NDLA. They are doing a lot of awareness now of what drugs are doing. If you go online, you can see it on social media, you can see what they are doing. So I really appreciate that. No matter what the other things they talk about, the NDLA is doing, but they are doing those awareness programs, letting people know that drug use is not good. So on that note, this is where I stop. So I really like to thank you for watching this seminar, and I really hope you share it to somebody who maybe is on drugs, or somebody who that can use it to help children, or anybody who may need help. Because I remember a few years ago when I went to secondary school to go and give a talk, and I was surprised that, I'm talking about not a secondary school, sorry, a primary school. I was surprised that those students there, they knew more about drugs than I did. Like, they knew the street names of all the drugs. Oh, have you taken banana? Oh, this guy used to take this one. They were mentioning street names. I'm like, what? These people, primary school, they know all these street names for drugs. So it's a menace and needs to be curbed. So that's all I have to say. I really thank you for watching, and I hope you share this video. Give me some like and subscribe for more content. Bye.